Yes, hi everyone. A very good a very good morning. How are you all? I'm sure you're doing great. And I am also doing very great. Okay? So come on, let's just have a check. How's the energy level, guys? For we are doing section C and it will be day 1 of the past paper practice that we will be doing. So I want energy levels to be super duper high. Do I have the energy levels very high? Type it in the chat box. Also type in, can you hear me properly? No issues with audibility at all. Just type that in the chat box, please. Waiting for your rewards. Hello, Vedika. Hello, Swapna. Yes, I'm sure all of you are having super high energy, right? Great. Can you hear me properly? Good morning, Shalu. Great, great, great. Okay. Let me tell you first quickly why are we having this session and what is the purpose of this session. First, many students, they have been asking me, ma'am, section C is like very traumatic. So let's remove the trauma from here. Great. Okay, so let's remove the trauma from here, and today we will be focusing on how you should be reading the questions, how you should be solving it, and how to make section C very, very easy. Plus, we are doing that all on the CBE platform. So how to use the platform is also going to be very convenient for all of you. And you know that you have any questions anywhere, any doubts anywhere, what you have to do, type it in the chat box and I will take it up. Okay, so now let's begin here, and everybody, I want your attention for the 2 complete questions that we are doing today. So let's start. You can see on my screen the past paper March and June is visible. I will start here parallelly. If you want, you can also start the paper at your end on your laptop. Okay, now let it get started. One quick instruction. Try to read all these instructions beforehand and don't wait for your exam day to read these instructions. Read them today only or when you get time before the exams, so that you are actually just directly jumping onto the questions only in the exam. Okay, so let's begin. Yes, now you can see the paper is getting loaded and we have our first question. Now you know that a section C question for PM is for how many marks? My friends, each question for 20 marks, correct? What is the average time that you should be taking to read the question, to solve the question, do everything in these for these 20 marks? Averagely, I would say to give yourself a 30-minute slot. 30 to 35 minutes is what is your time should be to solve one question. So in total, you should not be taking more than 70 minutes, 1 hour and 10 minutes to solve your section C. Okay, approximately around 50 minutes to 1 hour 10 minutes, you can definitely and easily solve section C. And make sure you do it this way only. Clear? Done? Okay, so now let's proceed. You have anything, you can ask me, and now I am beginning with your question discussion. How you should be reading a section C question. Okay, it's very important. It's a trick to read. And the trick is that I will not start reading the question. Then what will I do? What you will do, ma'am? I will directly just see my first question, because that will give me a comfort. Okay, this question is from this topic. Fine. Now I'm reading my first question 2 parts, and then I will do back reading, and then I will go to the question. So parallelly, sometimes not all questions are related to your question. Your questions which are asked, sometimes a general question also that you have read in your theory. So then start writing that question only, and no need to read the paragraph. Always read backwards when it comes to section C reading. So let's do it here. So question number A, part 1. Define economy, efficiency, effectiveness, which are the 3 E's in a value for money context. Does it relate to the question? No. So can we write it generally? Yes. And it is a 3 marker, 1 marker for every part. So now quickly, let's have a look as to how and what we should be writing here. Okay. Now, I am writing the question here. I want everybody to look at my screen. Now, what is 3 E's and how you should be answering the question directly? Okay, so we can first give one liner for, because 3 E's are a part of value for money, correct? So give the introduction for value for money. So how will I write? I will write here, value for money assesses 3 areas of performance. And what are the 3 areas? Economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. Done. This is an intro. Now write about 1 point for every. So first I will take economy. Okay, this area. Now if you look at the question here, let's also look at the question just to understand it's a manufacturing industry or a service industry or a trading industry. Okay, so just to look that, we will just look at the question here. Okay. Now, if you look at the question, what do you find? It's a hospital, Eastern Hospital Trust. So it is a not-for-profit organization and it is a service sector. And it is not a manufacturing sector. So now when you're writing your pointers, you have to write keeping in mind service sector. This is trick number 1. Always write your points specific to the question, even when you're writing general points. So here I will write that this area of performance measure in relation to service industry um, focuses on achieving the desired results or the desired objectives at lowest possible cost, but maintaining the levels of, but without compromising on levels of quality. Clear? Now let's go to the B part. So B part says efficiency. Okay, B part talks about efficiency. So now I am going to give you 1 pointer for efficiency. Yes, you got your 1 marks. You got your 1 marks for writing the 1 pointer for economy. Now let's get for efficiency. In efficiency is all about input output ratios, right? So now here it focuses on maximizing the returns or output, from the available resources, okay, available resources with the entity. Okay, now here the relationship of input output is explained, is dealt with. So I'm just writing the simple language that I know. That's all. Done. One marker done. Now write for C point. C point is effectiveness. This focuses on the achievement of objectives, of desired objectives of the organization, okay, given the resource of the organization. That's all. I think it is this only, no? It focuses on achievement of desired objectives of the organization. So that is desired output levels or targets. Done. You got your 3 marks. Was it difficult? Did I need to read the text? No. Was I needed to read the text? No. So then why should we waste time on reading the text when I don't need to? Otherwise, you will have to reread the text every time you are writing your answers. You are writing every part of your answer, correct? Okay, so now let's look at the second part of the question. Yeah. So the second part of the question is asking, explain why it is important that EHT uses a balanced mix of performance measures across the 3 E's. Well, actually, it's a very general question because every organization should actually use a balanced mix of 3 E's only, right? So in relation to EHT, it is asked now. Now what I will do, I will just read maybe the initial part of that question. Why? Because this question is divided into many parts. So for, as you go deeper in the question, you will have more parts. So no need to read the full question. Read maybe part of the question where you think you are finding answer for your question. Simple. Let me start reading it now. Always remember, you should never read your question very quickly. Students do this terrible mistake where they read the question very quickly and then they have to reread it like multiple times. Guys, read the questions a bit slowly, 30 seconds slower. Because when you read it properly, many things retain in your mind and you don't have to reread it again and again. Okay, now let's read the question. So now here I am. Eastern Hospitals Trust is responsible for running 3 hospitals in the east of the country of Azuland. These hospitals are called Mid-East, Northeast and the Southeast. EHT's overall objective is that its hospitals should provide top quality medical services which are required to access and supported by excellent patient care. That means, just see, for effectiveness we need this objective, right? And the objective of the organization is to provide top quality medical services and which is supported by excellent patient care. Okay, so you would need them when you're writing effectiveness, and these pointers should remain in your mind. Now let's go further. EHT is funded by the government of Azuland and does not charge patients for the services its hospital offers. And which services are not charged? Patient referral by a doctor. So now patient referral by a doctor is not charged. Okay, then emergency treatment is also not charged. Okay, so both these are not charged. Now, in recent years, government expenditure in Azuland has been significantly higher than the tax revenues, and the government is trying to reduce public spending. Okay, as a result, EHT's funding has been reduced. So now there is going to be pressure on the cost. EHT's chief executive has raised concern that these funding cuts could lead to a reduction in the number of staff employed. This is a very important point. It could lead to a reduction in the number of staff employed, and if the staff gets reduced, then the quality of care that they're providing to the patients will also be reduced. The funding shows actual data, that's okay. But now let's go back to a question, and a question focused on explain why it is important that EHT uses a balanced mix of performance measures across the 3 E's. Now, why it is important? It is important as they all are interrelated. So I will write here question number question number A2. So here you can mention question A1, but here I will mention question A2. Okay, so we can write the introduction. Remember, it is for 4 marks. So you have to devote 1 marker also in explaining that why the balanced use is so much needed. Okay, why? So explain it here. It is important. You can use the question line always to start your answer. Remember this. Again, it's a quick tip. Okay, it is important that EHT uses a balanced mix of performance measures across the 3 E's, as the 3 E's as the measures economy, efficiency and effectiveness are highly interrelated performance measures. So I wrote about the introduction. Now you have to explain how they are interrelated. Like for example, if economy would mean reduction in cost, and so if the cost of staff is reduced, then it may impact efficiency, as the care and quality of treatment, okay, of treatment, not treatment, services may go down. Okay, right? And which will in turn impact overall objectives to be achieved. So here we showed the relationship that if economy becomes detrimental, right, then it will affect its efficiency, it will affect the effectiveness. Simple example, and from where I took the example, from the question only, that highlighted text. So am I writing anything new here? No, I am just drawing everything from the question, and it will fetch me marks. Till this portion that you have written, you will get 2 marks. Okay, now let's write for more 2 marks, So now we can relate it to the question also. So the risk of meeting the risk of meeting the risk of meeting the performance measure for 1 E should not be detrimental. Now you remember these 2 terms. Detrimental means negative. So they help you in writing technical answers. Okay, it should not be detrimental to the other 2 E's. Okay, so you have given like a finishing statement here, but let's not discuss with the case study also. So you can write here that the chief of EHT has also raised concerns regarding the funding cuts, as it may affect the quality of the care provided to the patients, right? As it will affect the quality of the care which can provide care, it will impact the quality to the patients. So help also If the staff is reduced, then the waiting time for patients will increase because less number of staff is there, right? Waiting time for patients will increase, which will further increase the cost of treatment. Because if the waiting time increases, overall the cost will also increase. So just see, one factor will impact the other factors, and hence it is important that a balanced mix of performance measures should be used. Okay, so which will increase the cost of the treatment overall. Okay, and so hence it is needed that the three E's are balanced. Done. You got your 4 marks. So just 2 paragraphs. Did you observe? I did not write pointers. So number 1, no bullets, no pointers to be used in your answer. Number 2, you don't have to write any small pointers and the lines and all. You have to write crisp paragraph. Did I write any beautiful story that we write in our BCom? No. Right? And what I did, I remained stick to what is asked in the question. That's all. So students, those who ask me, ma'am, कितना बड़ा लिखना आंसर, मैम how much longer should be the length, ठीक है, हमें 4 पैराग्राफ लिखने हैं, 2 पैराग्राफ लिखने हैं, 3 पैराग्राफ लिखने हैं, no paragraphs defined. You have to just make sure that you're writing what is asked in the question. Trust me, ACC examiners don't love to read stories, so don't give them stories. Okay? Yeah. Now, any questions you have, you can put it in the chat box. But just to tell you all, we are done with a 7 marker out of 20 marker. Done. And without even reading the full question. So we save time on reading and we have done quick execution here. Okay. Now, and in the meantime, if anybody wants to maybe just take a pic of the question answering, you can. Okay. Now, let's go to the next one. So the difficulty with CV platform is this accessibility comparatively to what we do in regular Excel. Hence, you should be doing multiple questions on the platform. Now we have a 9 marker. That's a B part of the question. So B part of the question says discuss the performance of the three hospitals. The three one that was there in the beginning, right? Mid East, Northeast, and Southeast. Using the performance data provided. Now I will read the data and I will use it to answer my question. There is a note given. Use the headings economy, efficiency, and effectiveness to structure your answer. So I will write my answer which is revolving around these 3 headings only. Correct? So we will write with these 3 headings, each heading for 3 marker. Okay. Now let's have the question. Let's read the data and let's answer it. So we have read the question till here. Whatever I needed to remember, I have highlighted it. So in case I need to go back to the text, if I just look at the highlight point also, it will come to my mind what I've read. So use this selective reading in your exam. Okay, now the next is the table below shows the actual results for the last financial year for the 3 hospitals compared against the performance indicators that EHT is using to assess hospital performance. The results have all been verified by EHT's auditors. Now look here. The percentage of patients that were treated within 4 hours. Okay, 94% for Mid East, Northeast 89.5 and Southeast 91%. I think it's better if we read the notes first and then I read the data because then I can relate how is the different divisions doing. So let's read the notes. First note is all hospitals in Azuland have a target of treating emergency patients within 4 hours of them arriving at the hospital. The target for non-emergency patient is that they should attend their first hospital appointment within 12 weeks of being referred by the doctor. So there is a criteria that they have to attend their first appointment by within 12 weeks of the referring. Okay, and emergency patients to be treated within 4 hours. Now guys, please focus here because students, now I am going to be asking you questions. You will help me in drafting this answer. Okay, so let's have input from your end also. Third one, at the end of their treatment, patients or their relatives, if the patient is unable to do so, are asked to assess whether their quality of care, okay, how good the care they were provided with has been excellent, very good, good, average, or poor. 5 rating scales. The quality rating is an assessment made by independent external medical professionals who observe the quality of a sample of the medical procedure and after being which was carried out in the hospital. A score of 5 denotes excellent and 1 denotes poor. Now let's read the data. The percentage of emergency patients who were treated within 4 hours, so Mid East 94, Northeast 89.5 and Southeast 91. So 89.5 is lowest. But what you have to identify here is which of these factors you will assign with which E. So with economy you will assign which E, with efficiency which E, and with effectiveness which E. Okay. Next is percentage of non-emergency patients appointments scheduled within 12 weeks. So 95, 91 and 92.5. Percentage of patients who describe the services as excellent, 46 only, 56.5 and 55.4. Quality rating score is 4.5, 5 and 4.9. Average cost per patient is 16.8, 21.3 and 18.1. Overspending as compared to the budget is 143, 156 and 531. Now all of you tell me, write it in the chat box, when I am looking at the economy measure of performance, what will be the pointers that we will be taking? And just write one comment as per economy performance measure, what pointer are you taking and which division is performing the best? Okay, let's try to draft. You will see according to the pointer, Shalu, generally we are expected to write the answer in the paragraphs, in sections. Okay, all of you type it in your chat box that in economy area only for economy, which is the pointer that you will consider. Give maybe one pointer, that will do. Okay, so Swapna is telling me average cost per patient. Okay. Anything else? Anybody has got a different answer? Type it quickly in the chat box. Okay, everybody is giving me average cost per patient. Anybody who's thinking differently? Except for cost per patient. Think more. Look at the data. Look at the data. There is also one more point that you can cover in economy. Very good, Vedika. Very good. Overspending on the budget. Yes, very good, Shalu. Overspending on the budget. Very good. See, overspending means what? Kharcha. Okay, there is a kharcha involved. There is expense involved. There is monetary outflow involved, which is economy. Economy means kharcha. Correct. Remember it like that. Clear? So now let's try to frame our answer. How would you be framing your answer? So here I am now writing pointers which you will elaborate and which we are elaborating here. Okay. So now here, if I take the first one, which is economy, so I will be discussing about what points, the like you said, let's talk about first overspending. Right, so how you should be beginning your answer? So we can share that when in the case study, the hospital's expenditure, which is more than the budget, it could certainly be used as a factor, as a basis of measurement of performance against the economy measure. Correct? This you can write as an introduction, then just comment on it. Just look at the data. So when we see overspending compared to the budget across the three different the hospitals, Mid East is having the lowest overspending. That means it is more closer to the budget and it is more better performer than the other three hospitals. However, Southeast has been overspending 5 times to the budget, which is a very high difference between the budget and the actuals. So the differences needs to be investigated in detail for the reason of overspending. Okay, this is one point. Second point, however, we can say that none of the three hospitals are spending within the budget limits. So, and as per the government instructions, where there is a need to reduce the cost, it is now highly imperative or highly necessary for the hospital to do a detailed investigation on the areas where there is overspending going on among all the hospitals. Okay, so now here I'm discussing about all. Why? Because of the reason that overspending is going to impact all the hospitals. Clear? Right? So there is a clear case of overspending, right? And which is impacting all the hospitals. So now here we are talking about that as well. Now the next pointer that you mentioned about average cost per patient. But you know what? This average cost per patient can be used as a tool in economy, in efficiency, and effectiveness also. How? Average cost per patient tells us, now here when you look at the question, average cost per patient is my second point. Okay, now here the average cost per patient in Mid East is 16.8, Northeast is 21.3, and Southeast is 18.1. It definitely reflects that it is more expensive in Northeast as compared to Mid East. Mid East has got the lowest overspending and the lowest cost per patient. But in a service industry, we cannot do a comparison like that. So maybe the three different hospitals have a different way of treating the patients, and depending upon the seriousness of the patient's health, the amount of treatment needed, the amount of days stay needed, right, and the prolonged treatment needed, the waiting time there, all these factors are combined when we look at the average cost per patient. And so although it looks minimum for Mid East and maximum for Northeast, even though overspending is highest in Southeast, it is an area, though it is not very comparable from economy point of view, but still it gives us an idea about the average cost spending. So an investigation can be looked into these factors to understand that how is the cost calculated. Done. You're done with economy. So how you got your 3 marks? One for overspending, one for average, and one for better explanation. Okay. Anything anybody has to ask, you can put it in the chat box. Okay. Let's go to the next one. So now let's take the next one. Next one is about efficiency. Again, my same question. Tell me by looking at the questions that which 2 pointers or 3 pointers do you think would come for efficiency area when we're assessing the performance? Efficiency, input, output. Everybody put in your inputs. For efficiency measurement, which indicators we will take? Remember, we talk about efficiency, quality of services. I will repeat for average. I will write it down. So hold on everyone, I'm writing for average. Okay, now average cost per patient, we can write down that it is a measurement area performance for both economy and efficiency measures. Okay, as average cost efficiency areas measures. Okay, now let's discuss it further. So average cost per patient is lowest at Mid East Hospital and highest at Northeast Hospital. Okay, Northeast Hospital, which indicates that even though Northeast has 156% of overspending over the budget, but it is still very expensive for the patient. No, sorry, it is still very expensive as compared to other hospitals in terms of cost per patient. Okay, however, you know, in this industry, various factors like the seriousness of the patient, okay, length of stay at hospital, waiting time, the level of medical treatment needed, etc., determines the cost. Hence, to do the comparison, detailed insight into the cost is needed at all hospitals. Okay, am I now clear, Shalu? Am I now clear, Shalu? Because it is a very subjective concept, right? So I cannot just say that that's called the hospital which is having average cost per patient very high is not a good hospital. Like for example, in India, we say that Medanta is very expensive hospital, right? The cost per patient is very high here. But still you have a lot of patients coming here. So why they come here is also for quality of treatment, right? So just do a comparison based on this cost will not suffice. We need to have a balanced understanding, right? I hope, Shalu, it gives you clarity. Now, give me the pointers. What all pointers I should consider when we are discussing the efficiency area? One, you know, average cost of the patient. I will explain that also from efficiency point of view. And other, Vedika has given me the percentage of emergency patients which are treated within 4 hours of emergency. Within 4 hours of being admitted. Others, can I have more pointers? Look at the question and tell me. Look at the data which is there on the screen and tell me. Come on, I'm waiting. Okay, I have answers. Shalu has given me percentage of patients treated within 4 hours. Swapna has given me quality rating score percentage. Very good. Quality rating score will not come here, Swapna. Why? Because quality rating is an effectiveness tool, right? It's the ultimate output. No, how is the quality is provided? So this is my output. This is not my input. So quality, no. And the percentage of patient appointments or described services is excellent. Again, this is also output. Why it is output? So let's say, Swapna, you have done a service and now I am giving you a rating. You have a customer care call. Only when your call is over, you do a rating, right? So what is that rating indicating? Rating indicates that whether the target was achieved or not. Correct? So hence it is an output measure. 12 week is not a great around time, we can say, for emergency. It is efficiency for non-emergency is needed to be improved. Yes, Sagar. Okay, got it. To improve the efficiency, feedbacks are taken. Percentage of non-emergency patients. Yeah, but we have to stick to our data which is provided to us in the question. Right? Now, let's see the data which is provided to us. So as per the data which is provided to me, this is definitely one of the efficiency areas. Efficiency means what? How well the organization is able to use its resources, right? And in this case, to provide what is a target? To provide the due care and the due assistance to the patients, correct? To basically provide them with good quality services, how well they are able to use their resources. So first efficiency measurement is what is the percentage of emergency patients treated within 4 hours. So now here it's a big indicator. Ideally it should be 100%, but if it is not 100%, we will see which areas are falling. Okay, so first efficiency measure I can also take up is average cost per patient, because this is the cost per patient from the hospital point of view, right? So ideally, what does it indicate? That the way that you are spending on the patient is because you want to improve on the services, correct? So considering the available resources that you have, an average cost indicates that the more the cost, the more better services you are providing, ideally, right? So you can have an efficiency relationship created here as well, right? Now let's go to the next one. So the next one is when you have the emergency. The second one we can take up is percentage of emergency patients treated within 4 hours. Okay, so now the percentage of emergency patients which are treated within 4 hours, what does this indicate? It indicates that the patients, ideally they should be treated like 100%. Okay, ideally they should be treated 100%. If they are not treated 100% within 4 hours, so if you look here at the data which is provided, Northeast is having the lowest percentage. So probably the efficiency levels are here down, and we need to now look into detail that what is the why the percentage is lowered. Is it due to the criticality of the patient, or is it due to that the staff is not well trained? Okay, and what are the factors? Do we have the medical apparatus fully functional? Okay, is there is it due to the fact that some machines are not working properly? Okay, so and the responsive time of doctors is not that quick. So all these factors would be pointed out in the second point. Clear? Now let's go to the next one, the third pointer. The third pointer is, like you all also mentioned, very good, that percentage of emergency patients appointments scheduled within 12 weeks. Okay. Now what will you write here? Now percentage of emergency patient appointments scheduled within 12 weeks is 95, 91 and 92.5. Again you find that here that Northeast is not performing well. Okay, Northeast is not performing well. So you can elaborate the pointer here that here the percentage of non-emergency appointments are 91% as compared to the other hospitals. Now again, relating it to the second point only, okay, relating it to the second point only, we can say that it is not able to meet its target. Northeast Hospital in both the areas is falling in terms of target. So what we need to do is, see, we not only need to investigate in case of Northeast compulsorily that why it is falling in comparison to other hospitals again, but for other hospitals also we need this investigation. So not just you will focus on Northeast, you will write for other hospitals also. Why? Because the target is that it should be 100%. So please write for other hospitals also that why the percentage is not improving for them as well. So again, the detailed investigation would be needed here. That's all. So you just have to elaborate these pointers and you're done with this question. We are done with these 3 marker. So am I using anything which is very technically different? No, I'm just using the question data to do the question. So always when you read the question properly, your more than half of the question is within the question only. Okay, more than half of your answer. Now, let's look at the next one. The third one that is already given by Swapna for effectiveness. Swapna, I hope now you know why it is not, why these are effectiveness tools. Now, what is effectiveness? Always, even in efficiency, you will, when you start, you will explain it. That efficiency is a measurement to measure how well the entity is able to use its resources to desire the to provide the desired levels of quality care to the patients at the hospital. So always whatever is asked, you have to first explain that term and only then you will proceed further. Yes. Yeah, you will end on the need to investigate further. Yes, absolutely. That's like you're giving them the steps now what they should do. Right? So you are ending on that term. Now, when I come to effectiveness, first pointer is quality rating score and the percentage of patients who describe services as excellent. Now, that's the final output that an organization is looking for. Now, how should I be writing the starting? So, we can mention that effectiveness basically is representative of, you can say that it is representation. Okay, it is representation of, I'm sorry. The achievement of desired objectives by the organization. This is your starting point. Now you will say, ma'am, we have been writing about this since A point. Yes, that's like a repetition only, but you have to write it in your answer. Okay. So this is the first point that I've given. Now we'll talk about quality rating score and the percentage of patients. Percentage of patients who describe services as excellent is only 46% in Mid East, 56.5 in Northeast, and 55 in Southeast. Even though Northeast has got the lowest efficiency levels, but the achievement of objectives have been highest. One of the reasons can also be the average cost of the patient, because they're spending so much, so they are achieving higher, but that is also leading to the lower levels of efficiency. Maybe they're having some idle time available, maybe there are some wastages which are taking place. So you will talk about this also. Okay, now as Mid East, if we see, Mid East has got more than 50% of the customers who have not given excellent rating. Now, one of the reasons can also be that sometimes ratings go between excellent and very good. You can mention that. So many times, even though the patient has not given excellent, but they've given very good, and sometimes patients really don't matter to them whether they are writing excellent or very good, as they are indifferent between the two. So now organization needs to look into detail, hospital, how was the very good rating levels also. Now this is a pointer that you are adding from your side. It will give you an additional mark, because examiners always support when you give some innovative ideas. Correct? Done with this. Now let's talk about quality rating score. Quality rating score has been the best with Northeast. So yes, the cost and quality can be compared here. Even though cost is very high, probably because of which the quality is very high. Maybe they have hired the doctors who are quite costly doctors. I mean, based on their experience. And so you can write that. I'm giving you so many points. You can write or any of them or all of them, whatever you think. But this is how we'll frame our answer. Okay. So now quality rating score is lowest in Mid East. So if we find its efficiency levels are highest, but its effectiveness is lowest. So now here it represents that there is a missing point here when it comes to balancing, that all the three E's are not balanced in this hospital. So a detailed understanding, cost savings, cost understandings of are needed deeper by the management, and then a proper balance should be maintained so that economy, efficiency and effectiveness all are met with. Done, you got your 3 points. So whatever I told you, you don't need to write everything. I've given you so many pointers. You have to make sure that for effectiveness also you're writing these 2 points and elaborating them well, and you get your 3 marks. Okay. No need to know any length. There is no length needed. Yeah. So Swapna, I'll give you a quick way. मतलब एकदम easy तरीका to understand what is the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency means what? I am working full day. ठीक है? मेरे पास सिर्फ 4 घंटे हैं to study. And in those 4 hours, I'm not watching OTT, I'm not doing Insta, I'm not doing LinkedIn, I'm not doing YouTube, I'm not doing anything. I am just studying for those 4 hours. Okay? Effectiveness is you get your ACCA pass result. Got it? अब in an organization, efficiency क्या होता है? We have only 100 staff. We have only 1000 machine hours available. अब इसी में मुझे बेस्ट आउटपुट निकालना है. दैट मीन्स लोवेस्ट वेस्टेज, मशीन ब्रेकडाउन्स को लोअर करना है, एंड लेबर को आइडल टाइम कम देना है. ओके. व्हेन इट कम्स टू इफेक्टिवनेस, व्हाट इज इफेक्टिवनेस? इफेक्टिवनेस का मतलब है अब जो मुझे ऑर्डर्स आए थे, जो मेरे टारगेट्स थे, मैं उसको अचीव कर पा रहा हूं या नहीं कर पा रहा हूं. दैट इज इफेक्टिवनेस. अभी समझा? आर यू क्लियर नाउ सपना? Let me know if you still have any questions. Okay, let's go to the next pointer. So now we are still not done with the full question. We have to do the next pointer. Let's do the next one. The last portion of this question, very simple. Just discuss 2 challenges that EHT might face when measuring the performance of its overall objective. Now, can you give me this answer? 4 marks, 2 markers for each of the challenge, which you will not write in bullets, you will write it in a paragraph. What according to you can be the 2 challenges that this hospital might face when they are measuring the performance of its overall objective? When they are measuring the performance against the 3 E's, what are the challenges that they can face? Yeah, okay, Anis, I will tell you. Let's just complete this part, then I'll take your query. Okay, so Sagar has given me that one of the major challenges, how it is a challenge, patient recommended by doctors. Can you explain subjectiveness? How subjectiveness is a challenge, Shalu? Just one liner. Everybody give me your answer. the challenges? Now, if you're there and doing this question, what can be the challenges that can be there? Should I be discussing balancing these all? Yes, I think this is a very good pointer, Shalu. This is the basic challenge. Resources are limited. Very good. This is also one of the pointers. Information systems on how each division records performance measurement. Oh, yeah, this is a very good pointer. Anybody else with any other point? Okay. So yes, you have given me valid point. Actually, we should only take two. So you have given me perfect point. For someone is good and someone's it is excellent. Absolutely good. So what should the company consider? Absolutely correct. Shalu and everybody, those who have given me a pointers, they are absolutely bang on. Multiple objectives of different shareholders. Actually, not shareholders. Here we don't have any shareholders either. Multiple objectives of the different patients, which is there, right? Now, when I'm looking at the question, my question says discuss the two challenges that EHT might face. So first, I would go with the like what Shalu suggested, which is a merger of your answering also Sahitya. That is basically subjectivity. See, here we say that we need a balance of the three E's: economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. And all the three E's are very much related. That means the cost of medical care, the quality of medical care, they are very related. If we reduce the cost, quality should not be suffered. If we increase the cost, it may be overspending. And as it is, the expenses needs to be reduced. Right? So, like what is the difficulty now, what is the area that is becoming a challenge, or that is a challenge point for the EHC hospital is about the area that we just discussed about the quality and the cost. Number two can be like these pointers: percentage of emergency patients treated within 4 hours, the percentage of non-emergency patients appointment scheduled within 12 weeks. So the challenging point is it has to be kept in terms in with the industry standards. It has to be kept very high so that the immediate patient response care has to be provided, and the hospital has to ensure that the staff is also not reduced in that segment, although the cost is increasing. So they have to keep a balance between them, and that becomes very difficult. And like one of the pointers that also was discussed, that the rating scales, no, excellent, very good, good, even you have this, right? When you call a customer care, वो क्या बोलते हैं, ma'am please do the rating. And if I'm in a bad mood, I may do a good rate, average rating. If I'm in a good mood, I may give very, very good rating. But it is going to affect their performance, right? So it depends upon the mindset of the patient, and that's a very subjective point here. So done with the first one. Second, like one of you suggested, I think Vedika, information which is provided for calculating any data. So even what we calculate, percentage of emergency patients, whether you do a quality rating score. So quality rating score is also very subjective. Average cost per patients, the percentage of this patients who described it as excellent is also very subjective. So information gathering is also a big challenge, right? How to gather this non-financial information, because financial information you can gather, but the non-financial information is very difficult to gather. And they're like this 4-hour criteria. What if there has been a manual error, then ensuring that this 4-hour data is 100% correct is also very difficult. So just like subjectiveness, information gathering in this in especially in the non-financial performance area is very difficult to do. You just write about that and that's all done, what we discussed, and you got your 4 marks. And like Saiti also suggested, multiple objectives, so that we have written in 3 E's. So these multiple objectives also give you a very difficult time, right? Clear? So we are repeating the same point only that I've been doing from part A to B to, I mean, till the end. But yes, you'll keep on doing that. So just that you need to have the clarity, the perfect clarity between the three E's, which I'm sure now you have it. Anyone having any doubts, you feel free to ask me in the chat box. And now I will take your query as the unease. Anis, you asked me, but ma'am, when we calculate the residual income, which profit do we take? We always take operating profit or we take PBIT. But the simplest reason, the interest portion I'm already considering, no, when we calculate, when we multiply capital employed with notional cost of capital. So you're already considering the finance cost. Therefore, we are taking it before interest. I hope it clarifies. Everybody, relax zone. Anything to ask? Guys, in between, please drink water. It's very hot. Okay? Yes. And now you're studying. Your last days of exams are there. Please eat properly, sleep properly, drink properly. Water. Keep yourself hydrated. Like I am also doing. Okay, let's move on to the second paper. To the second question. Sorry, my bad. Let's move on to the second question. Now we have the calculations part. So all of you, I will be doing a certain part and you will be giving me the calculations also. So now it's a very good question. 14 marker. 14 marker calculations only in this question. More, no theory for 14 marks, only calculations. So ready to do it with me? Fine, let's begin now. Great. I know theory, practical is something that everybody enjoys. So no need to take out your calculators. No calculators. If you have laptop in front of you, you will use Excel to do it. Or else if you're doing it on CV platform with me only, then please use Excel to do this. Mandatory. Okay. No calculators, nothing. Okay. Let's start doing this, guys. Be with me. Very good question it is. And you know that it is an exam paper only. Okay, now let's read it. So now here we have, again, what we are going to do, backward reading. So read the question first and then we go into the question. Requirement. Using the template provided, complete the ABC, the activity based budget for overheads. So you have to use activity based method, okay? For overheads for Quality Tire Company for the year ended 31st December 20x1. Okay, let's begin. Now we have to do the question. Always use parallel solving to save your time. So what I will do, I will read, and wherever I'm getting the relevant data, I will start solving it in the working notes. Okay. And I would recommend you all also to be doing the same thing. It will save your time and give you more confidence. Okay. So just do it with me in the same way. Now, let's look at the question. Let's start reading it, guys. Focus on my screen only. Quality Tire Company is based in Castland. Look at the speed with which I'm reading. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not saying Quality Tire Company is based in Castland. The manufacturers and the sales two types of. We all do this, right? When you're doing questions, you are reading it in this way only. Don't do this. Because this will make you read 5 times. And the way I'm reading, I will only read 1 or maximum 2 times. So look at the time that I'm saving. Okay. Now, Quality Tire Company is based in Casland and manufactures and sells two types of tires for motor vehicles, and the basic and the sport. These are the two categories. It sells these tires to commercial customers such as garages and car repair shops. The company has been using activity based costing throughout 20x0 and is keen to take this one step further and begin using activity based budgeting. So, although it has activity based costing, no, it's easier for them to apply activity based budgeting, right? Because everything is already there. So, they really don't have to trouble. It is all available with them. Okay, now let's go read further. Just 1 minute. I'm putting on my mic. Details of some of the last year's cost driver rates for overheads were as follows. So the cost driver rates are already calculated and they are given to you. Cost per material order. So you have material ordering cost, stores requisition, that is given to you. Cost per machine setup cost per quality control inspection, it is given to you. Cost per sales order cost is given to you. Cost per customer delivery cost is given to you. With the exception of customer delivery cost, that means to this particular point, the customer delivery cost, it is not applicable. All of these costs, they are expected to increase by 5%. That means you will take the cost and you will multiply 105% in the year ending 31st December 20x1. Customer delivery cost, however, are a semi-variable cost, and the variable element relates to fuel, which is expected to increase by 10%. So variable cost portion you will multiply with 110%, and the fixed cost portion you will multiply with 5%. If I think it's good that I highlight it, so that I just will look into this data only and nothing else. And no need that perfect highlighting, huh? Even if you're doing it imperfectly, that's okay, because that's only for you. So I have just selected the pointers that I need when I'm writing my answer. Now, the number of customer deliveries and total delivery cost is given to you. Why? Because the question says it's a semi-variable cost. High-low method, we will use this to apply high-low method. Clear? The average order size for the customer is 20 tires. So that is the average order size that we have to remember, because we will be using it in our calculation. Now, the quality tire company arranges a specific delivery for each customer. Annual sale forecast for December 20x1 is given. There is an opening level of inventory is also given, and it says that quality tires company inventory policy for 20x2. That means the closing of this year, closing inventory detail is given to you, right? Is to hold enough inventory of tires to meet the next month's sales demand. That means if we are at year end of 2001, I need to ensure that I have at least 1 month inventory for the next year. Okay, the forecast annual sales are expected to be of 20x2 and accrue evenly. That means what? How will I get monthly sales? This is the same sales level for 20x2 divided by 12. I will get my monthly sales. This will help me calculate closing stock, and then we will calculate what is the production required. Right? So we know sales, we know opening stock, we know closing stock, we will calculate production. Now, batch size is 200 for basic and 450 for sports. Once I know production, I will divide 200, I will get my number of batches. Okay. Quality control checks, they take place every 50th tire. So that means in basic, there will be 4 quality control tests. How? 200 by 50. In case of sport, there will be 9 quality control tests. How? 450 by 50. Okay. So this paragraph is very important. Every time a batch is complete, the machine used for manufacturing them needs to be set up again. What does this mean? The number of batches and the number of setups are same. Correct? Every batch complete, one setup. Every batch complete, one setup. In 20x10, x0, the number of material orders and the store requisitions are as follow. This is clearly given to you. Material orders and store requisitions. Quality Tire Company introduced a new material ordering system several weeks ago. While the exact effect of this is not known yet, the company is estimating that there is a 50% probability it will reduce orders by 30% and 50% probability it will reduce by 20%. So what we have to see is from these orders, actually what will be reduction? Store acquisitions, they will not change. So how will I calculate reductions? You have probabilities, you will use them to calculate reduction. Good question, right? Okay, let's start doing it. So we will go step by step, and wherever I need you to do anything, you will be doing that. And I'll be preparing working notes for all the calculations. You have anything to ask, you can put it in the chat box. Okay. Now, so let's do this question. Now we'll start with first one, material ordering cost. So what I will do is here parallelly I will prepare the working notes. Okay, I need to first calculate the material ordering cost. But before that, I think let's calculate the number of batches. Since we have sales units, we have opening stock, we have closing stock. Let's calculate number of batches, right? Based on the number of production units. So first step is we will calculate number of batches. Okay. So what I will do, I will write here. This is the two sizes are basic and sport. Wherever you are stuck, you can ask me. Okay. Now here we have opening stock. Actually, I can have sales. Wait. Write opening stock only. Opening stock is it's given to you now. Yeah. 3600 and 2400. Now you have sales. The sales for the year is 60,000 and 45,000. Now you have closing stock, right? So first you add them. Okay. Now we will reduce closing stock because then I will get my production. Right? Closing stock is how much? It is 1 month sale we have to keep in stock. So 60,000 is for the full year. So 1 month will be 60,000 divided by 12. Here 1 month will be 45,000 divided by 12. Now production. So we need a production of these much units. Okay, and units in a batch, it's given here. Batch size is 200 for basic and 450 for sport. 200, 450. So number of batches will be 58,600 divided by 200. Oh, just a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to add it. We have to less opening stock. Just a minute. Because that is already manufactured, no? I did reverse. We have to less opening stock and add closing stock. We are calculating the production. So it will be this plus this. Yes. Okay. Tell me if you have any queries till this point. Please go through it. And can you see I'm using the only formulas? You have to use it this way. You know calculator is needed, no manual calculation. It has to be done completely in Excel. After every working, I'll give you 10 seconds to think and tell me if you have any queries. Okay. Be working. Now we are doing the working for one by one for every head. So first I'm doing for ordering cost. Okay, now what is given about ordering cost? First, the cost will increase, right? So whatever is the cost, it is going to increase. Like cost per order is 80%, but we know 80, but we know that by inflation it will increase by 5%, right? Now, it is something is also given about the orders. Here it is given number of orders, but then they are going to reduce. So what is the reduction? You have to use probability. So how will you reduce the how will you take the probability? I will explain you. First, let's have the revised cost. But first we need to calculate probability. What is the percentage of reduction? Let's calculate that. Percentage of reduction. See here, we have two percentages. There is a 50% probability it will reduce by 30%. 50% probability it will reduce by 20%. Get the two like we do expected value method, do that and get one percentage. So what will be percentage? 50% multiplied by 30% plus 50% multiplied by 20%. So I get here 25%, right? I will write here or 25%. Done. So I will apply for 25% reduction. Now here again, I will write the same table, basic and sport. So here I will write number of orders is 1800. It is 1460. Okay. Now you will reduce it percentage of reduction or reduction. Reduction will be this multiplied by 25%. And here this multiplied by 25% uniformly because we have just calculated it. So after reduction, what do I get? 1350 and 1095. Now you will multiply it with the rate. So here cost per material order. Cost per material order will be 80 multiplied by 105%. Because except for cost per customer delivery, rest everything will be multiplied with 105% as it is all becoming expensive. So here you will take 80 multiplied by 105%. Okay, and copy this. Now you multiplied it and you get your cost of ordering material. So cost of ordering material will be this multiplied by number of orders. Done. You can just extend this. Then we're done with the B also. So, but I will link it here. Okay. Now let's go further. Take your time to go through. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Great. Let's go further. I will just copy the performer. Okay. Now here, what is the cost of order? Okay, the cost of order, no, it is the cost of requisition. I will just edit this, okay? This is number of, look at the question. It says that no, there is no change in store acquisition numbers. So these are number of store acquisitions. Okay, and this is cost per requisition. Okay, so now again here the number of requisitions are 6400 and 4240. 6400, 4240. Okay, and the cost per requisition will be here. What is the cost given to you? 14. So you will just take 14 into 105%. You cannot copy the formula in the CB platform. So you have to do it yourself only. So sometimes you may just do that in error and you may just ignore the fact that it is not copied. Okay, so this is cost of store acquisition. F2 also does not work here. So you have to write it here only. Okay, now cost of store acquisition. Any questions, any queries so far? Let me just link it. You have time, go through this. If you find any questions or queries, you can ask me. Then we will go to the third one, machine setup cost. We will do, but वेरिएबल कॉस्ट का एलिमेंट और फिक्स कॉस्ट का एलिमेंट किसके लिए दिया हुआ है? डिलीवरी कॉस्ट के लिए. तो जब हम डिलीवरी कॉस्ट में आएंगे तब हम ये करेंगे. अभी हम स्टेप बाय स्टेप हर ओवरहेड की कॉस्ट ले रहे हैं. क्लियर? मटेरियल ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट में देयर इज नो रोल ऑफ द वेरिएबल एलिमेंट. रीड द क्वेश्चन. When you read the question, what is given here? Yeah, what is given here? Customer delivery cost are a semi-variable cost. So only customer delivery cost, the last one when we do, that time we will take out the material, the variable element. Okay? Clear? Now let's go further. Let's discuss the third one, which is machine setup cost. So even I can do it here, not a problem. Because we just have to complete this. Okay. C is machine setup cost. Okay, and here again I will just copy the performer. Okay, what is the question giving you about the number of setups? The detail. The question is giving you the number of setups multiplied by cost per setup. Just a minute. Cost per setup is 120. So we'll do 120 into 105%. Okay, now what is the number of setups? The question gives you the details. Let's read the detail. The question tells you that each each time a batch is complete, the machine is used for manufacturing them. So the number of batches is equal to number of setup. We have already calculated number of batches. Just link it to get the number of setups. That's all. It is already multiplied because we have used the formula. Still always cross check. It's better to cross check. So the cost of machine setup. I will just cross check it. No, formula is not the same. So we need to multiply the formula again. Okay, so just 38682 and 12978. Link it. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Quality inspection cost. So here again I have basic, sport. Okay, now what does it say? This line tells you that batch sizes are 200 for basic and 450 for sport, and quality control checks takes place on every 50th tire. So when I look for the number of batches, every batch will require 4 inspections, correct? Here every batch in case of sport will require 9 inspections. Why? 450 divided by 50 gives me 9. So here I can just write that number of batches we already have 307 and 103. Here I will write number of inspections per batch is 4 here. How? 200 divided by 50, and here it is 450 divided by 50. Right? So I will write here total number of inspections. So total number of inspections will be this multiplied by 4. So totally we require 1228 and 927 inspections. Even control C in formula does not work, remember it. Okay, so these are the total number of inspections required. Now I will multiply it with cost per inspection. So cost per inspection is, remember you will increase by 5% also. It is 260. So here I will take 260 multiplied by 105%. Right? So here I will take 260 multiplied by 105%, and here also the same. Now just multiply it and get the total inspection cost. Right? So that will be this multiplied by 273 and this multiplied by 273. Okay, any questions? If you have, you can ask. I will just link this. Now we just have 2 costs remaining. Let's go to the next one. Now these 2 are important. Okay, now it is sales ordering cost. Now I don't know the number of orders, sales orders. What I have here is number of material orders. So how will I get number of sales orders? I've got the total number of sales. Okay, total quantity of units sold. And there was one data that was given to me, that number of average order size of customer is 40 tires. So I know number of sales units, I know ordering size of customer. When you divide it, you get number of sales orders, right? So let's do it here. E, that is sales ordering cost. Okay, now sales ordering cost is, so here basic sport, this will not change. Okay, and here I will write sales units. Sales units for basic, it is given to you 60,000 and 45,000 given to you, right? 60,000 and 45,000. Okay, now order size is 40. That is number of units in one order. Simple, it means or number of units in one order. Now I have number of orders. So number of orders are this divided by this and this divided by this. 1500 orders and 1125 orders. Clear? Now you can get the ordering cost. So we will multiply it with, ordering cost is how much? Ordering cost is 46. Again 46 multiplied by 105%. So here I will take 46 multiplied by 105% and the same 48.3. Now you multiply it and you get here total sales ordering cost. Okay, so it is 543337.5 and 72450. Now just link it. Now we are at the last one and probably the most important one. Okay, so we will calculate it. Let's do the last one, which is delivery cost. So I'll do it here, F1. First, I will need to know what is my variable and the fixed cost. So do the high-low method and calculate it. Okay, now I would need your help. So now you have the screen. You have my screen. Can you see it? You have the two data, number of customer deliveries and total delivery cost. Work out the high-low method and tell me what is the variable cost and fixed cost. Quickly. You will do two steps right now. So quickly everybody look at my screen and calculate what is the variable cost and fixed cost. बेटा ये complicated नहीं है शालू, थोड़ा lengthy question है, बट आप देखोगे तो कितना easy है ना. डेटा आपको दिया हुआ है, बस आपको मल्टीप्लाई करते रहना है. आपको ओवरहेड्स का स्ट्रक्चर भी दिया हुआ है, टेम्पलेट भी दिया हुआ है, बस डेटा भरना है. तो ये तो बहुत स्कोरिंग होते हैं क्योंकि इसमें ना आपका एफर्ट कम जा रहा है. आप एक ही टाइप की कैलकुलेशन कर रहे हो. अभी तक सारी कैलकुलेशंस हमने एक टाइप की ना, बस एक यही डिफरेंट है. सो इट इज लेस technical than other questions. Vedika has given me variable cost is 70 per unit. Is it correct? All of you authenticate. I will write this only. Is it 70 per unit? Very good. So Swapna has authenticated. This is 70 per unit variable cost. I will take this. What is the fixed cost in totality? What is the fixed cost that you are getting? Good. Everybody, now let's quickly calculate and tell me what is the fixed cost. शालू अब समझ में आ रहा है हम कहां वेरिएबल कॉस्ट यूज कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन ने हमें क्या बोला है, दैट कस्टमर डिलीवरी कॉस्ट इज सेमी वेरिएबल, ओनली वन कॉस्ट. तो बाकी सारे कॉस्ट में हम क्यों यूज करेंगे? करेक्ट. Okay, so Vedika has given me 210,000 is the fixed cost. Can anybody else authenticate? Sahitya also has given this. Shalu, you're getting the same answer. Sagar, Anees, Swapna, you all are getting the same answer. Okay. Shalu and Swapna, revert. Anees, revert. Okay. So now I think गो स्टेप बाय स्टेप शालू. जैसे मैं कैसे कर रही हूं अभी स्टेप बाय स्टेप ना, एक एक स्टेप लेके चलो. जब हम क्वेश्चन को ढंग से पढ़ते हैं ना तो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं होता. ये क्वेश्चन बड़ा है, बस इतना ही है. तो एक एक चीज का कैलकुलेशन एक एक स्टेप लेके करो, सारी चीजें एक साथ नहीं करनी. ओके. Yeah, so now everybody has given me 210,000. So I will use your data, guys, and I will write here variable cost per unit is 70. Okay, this is old. Now we will calculate revised. And fixed cost in totality is 210,000. What is revised? Abhi, now let's read the question. Question ne kya bola? Variable element relates to fuel which is expected to increase by 10%. So variable cost will increase by 10%. That means what will you do? 70 multiplied by 110%. Correct? Which is 77. सो अभी जब मैं डिलीवरी कॉस्ट निकालूंगी मैं वेरिएबल एलिमेंट को 77 से मल्टीप्लाई करूंगी. ओके. एंड फॉर द फिक्स पोर्शन इट इज इंक्रीजिंग बाय 5%. सो रिवाइज फिक्स कॉस्ट विल बी this multiplied by 105%. Oh, I'm sorry. 105%. Clear? Now just see how will you lose it. So you did your high-low method and you have done it. You're done. No longer you need this data. But what are we calculating here? Because अभी ये तो देख ले क्या calculate कर रहे हैं. Cost per customer delivery. So we need to know what is the number of deliveries that are made to the customer. Number of deliveries मतलब क्या? यहाँ पे question ने क्या बोला है? The average order size is this and quality tire company arranges a specific delivery for each order. मतलब हर ऑर्डर पे एक डिलीवरी. जैसे बैच साइज और सेटअप था वैसे ही ऑर्डर एंड डिलीवरी. मतलब जितने ऑर्डर्स उतनी डिलीवरीज. हमने लास्ट स्टेप में ऑर्डर निकाले थे वही ऑर्डर्स को आपको यूज करना है. इजी. ओके. सो नाउ हियर आई विल राइट बेसिक एंड आई विल राइट स्पोर्ट एंड नाउ आई विल राइट हियर नंबर ऑफ डिलीवरीज. And number of deliveries are same as orders, so you will link it. Okay, I will go to where is my orders and I will just link it. 1500 and 1125. But always use linking, never use manual data. Because let's say you are, when you're doing question and you find there is an error, you make a change here, so that will be change made automatically. No? Otherwise, if you will forget that that portion of the answer will go wrong. Clear? So number of deliveries are this. Now let's calculate what is the variable cost of delivery. So how will you what will you do? You will multiply this with the variable cost that you have just calculated 77. Here also you will multiply this with the variable cost that you have calculated here 77. So this is one cost that you will take and at the end we will add the total cost. Now take what is the fixed cost of delivery. But now you will say, ma'am, I have got the total fixed cost is 22500. Then can we take proportion? कैसे लेंगे? ये 22500 जो cost है ये total deliveries की 2625. करेक्ट? क्योंकि ये टोटल ऑर्डर्स के जितने ऑर्डर कर रहे हैं वो टोटल ऑर्डर्स की कॉस्ट है 2620500. So now what is the proportionate cost for basic? Can we calculate? Normal maths. So how will you do it? If 220,500 is the total fixed cost, how much is the cost for basic? So ये कैसे निकालेंगे? 220,000 divided by total deliveries 2625 multiplied by the delivery for basic 1500. Likewise 220,000 is the total fixed cost for 2625 deliveries. It is a total fixed cost. अभी कितनी कॉस्ट है मेरे लिए स्पोर्ट्स के लिए 1125. You will multiply. So what I did, I just proportionately allocated it between sport and basic. Why? Because fixed cost You cannot have per unit. It is in totality. Hence, we are using it and we are proportionately allocating it between basic and sport. Very good, Swapna. Very good, Shalu. Perfect. Very good. I hope everybody is getting hold of this. Any confusions anywhere? Put it in the chat box. So now you got fixed cost also. Now you got variable cost also. Is it difficult? No, ma'am. What you will do now? What will do now? Total cost. So get the total cost. How will you calculate it? Get the total, add it, add fixed cost and variable cost. Because this was the only cost which was semi-variable. Okay. Now you just link it here. So you will link okay. Now get the total. So use the formula because you have to fill in all the columns, all the rows, every data. If I can drag it, I will just drag it quickly. Use the dragging tool. If you're not able to copy paste, no, use the dragging tool. And here get the total. Okay. So that's all for your question. You have got 14 marks here. It was never a difficult question. Because if you see here, we just did first working of number of batches and then we just did a standard format. Only thing that was different in delivery cost, where it was semi-variable cost, we had to find out variable and fixed and just apportion it to the deliveries. Take a minute and ask me if you have any queries here. I know, but Swapna, it was not difficult. That's what I want to highlight. यार ये कहीं पे भी ना इसमें कुछ ऐसा पॉइंट नहीं था जिसको देख के मुझे लगा कि यार से दिमाग में नहीं जा रहा. ये वो पॉइंट है. ये क्या है? क्वेश्चन लेंदी है. लेंदी को हम कैसे शॉर्टन कर सकते हैं? देखो मैंने पहले ही बैचेस की वर्किंग कर दी. उससे क्या हुआ? मेरे सारे वर्किंग्स क्लियर होते गए. ठीक है. इसके लिए हमने क्या किया? हमने इसको इजी करने के लिए क्या किया? एक एक कैलकुलेशन एक एक बार में ली. ठीक है. इससे क्या हुआ? हम एक ही कैलकुलेशन पे फोकस कर रहे हैं. ओके. तो ये केवल लेंदी है बेटा. डोंट ट्रीट इट लाइक अ डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन. डिफिकल्ट मतलब क्या होता है? समझ ही नहीं आ रहा पहले क्या करना है. ओके. बट नाउ टेल मी, आफ्टर वी हैव डन दिस 14 मार्कर, ये अभी भी बहुत ट्रिकी या डिफिकल्ट लग रहा है किसी को? Are you still finding it? Oh, I am really not able to understand these workings. You are having this expression on your mind, on your face? Tell me. Or is it looking comfortable now? I mean, honestly बताना भी comfortable लग रहा है कि नहीं? ऐसे लग रहा है कि क्वेश्चन मुझसे हो जाएगा. इस टाइप का क्वेश्चन मैं कर सकती हूँ एग्जाम में या कर सकता हूँ एग्जाम में. ऑफ कोर्स. बट यही तो मुझे फीलिंग चाहिए. नो मैम फॉर व्हाट? शालू. ओके, आई विल एक्सप्लेन दैट. साहित्य. नो मैम किस लिए ये बताओ. आई लाइक दिस स्टेटमेंट स्वप्ना. कर सकते हैं एंड दिस इज व्हाट यू कॉल एज फेथ एंड ट्रस्ट ऑन योर सेल्फ. यही तो चाहिए. कर सकते हैं ना? कर लेंगे एग्जाम में. डोंट वरी, कर लेंगे. I will try to send, though I don't know. I'll have to click, click the screenshots. So I will try to send it. Sure, sure. ओके अभी लेकिन ये रिवाइज करोगे ना शालू, यू विल नॉट यूज माई शीट्स. You will do the, guys, I will give you one instruction towards the end, so don't leave. I'll just take another 10 minutes or so. We're just left with a small part, and then I'll give you one instruction so that you improvise in tomorrow's paper. Okay. Now, Sahitya, you have a query. How you got your closing stock, ma'am? Can you go to your pointers? Sahitya, eyes on my screen, and you will answer my question. एक नॉर्मल ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट जब हम बनाते हैं, नॉर्मल अकाउंट्स में कैसे निकालते हैं हम प्रोडक्शन? सेल्स में क्लोजिंग स्टॉक लेस करते हैं और क्लोज सेल्स में ओपनिंग स्टॉक लेस करते हैं और क्लोजिंग स्टॉक ऐड करते हैं, राइट? देन वी कम टू नो हाउ मेनी यूनिट्स वी आर गोइंग टू प्रोड्यूस. क्लियर? नाउ यहाँ पे सेल्स दिया हुआ, ओपनिंग दिया हुआ है, क्लोजिंग निकालना है. क्लोजिंग के लिए क्वेश्चन ने क्या बोला? Quality tire companies inventory policy for 2002 is to hold enough inventory of tires to meet the next month sale demand. मतलब सिर्फ एक महीने की डिमांड हमें रखनी है, सिर्फ एक महीने की. इस और उसके बाद क्या बोला? द फोरकास्ट सेल ऑफ 20x1 एंड 20x2 आर सेम. कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. क्यों? क्योंकि हम हैं 31 दिसंबर 20x1 पे, तो मुझे जनवरी 20x2 की सेल्स अपने क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में चाहिए. करेक्ट? एक महीने की सेल. नो, इट विल अकर इवनली ओवर द ईयर. इवनली का मतलब क्या है? 60,000 फॉर द फुल ईयर. सो एक महीने का है 5,000, तो मुझे क्लोजिंग स्टॉक कितना चाहिए? 5,000. एक महीने की सेल. लाइकवाइज स्पोर्ट्स में मुझे कितना क्लोजिंग स्टॉक चाहिए? एक महीने की सेल, विच इज 45,000 by 12. एम आई क्लियर नाउ? Okay, Sahitya, if you're clear, please type in. अब नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, मैम यहां पे तो आपने समझा दिया, हियर तो यू हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड, राइट? बट नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, मैम एग्जाम में कैसे समझे? I'll tell you very very easy way, like how I used to do as a student and even as a mentor, how I do. If I'm reading this line ना, मैं इस लाइन को थोड़ा पढ़ूंगी. जैसे मैंने पढ़ा क्वालिटी टायर इन्वेंट्री पॉलिसी फॉर 20x2. 20x2 मतलब ये अगले साल की पॉलिसी है. इज टू होल्ड इनफ इन्वेंट्री. बट ये पॉइंट मुझे दिया क्यों होगा क्वेश्चन ने? मैम ये दिया इसलिए क्योंकि ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री दी हुई है, सेल्स दी हुई है, अभी क्लोजिंग स्टॉक देना पड़ेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि मुझे प्रोडक्शन निकालना है. क्यों? ये क्वेश्चंस आने चाहिए. क्यों? क्योंकि ओवरहेड कैसे निकलेगा? ओवरहेड निकलेगा प्रोडक्शन के बेसिस पे. क्लियर? जैसे ये पॉइंट दिमाग में आया, अभी ये क्वेश्चन आया, भाई मैं क्लोजिंग स्टॉक निकालूंगा कैसे? तो अब यहाँ पे हम पढ़ेंगे, जिसने बोला नेक्स्ट मंथ की सेल डिमांड, मतलब एक ही महीने की डिमांड को करना है. तो सेल्स है भैया पूरे साल की, उसको 12 से डिवाइड करो, एक महीने की डिमांड लो. योर माइंड शुड वर्क दिस वे. दिस इज हाउ योर थॉट शुड बी क्रिएटेड. अपने आप को जो लैंग्वेज कन्वीनियंट है ना, उसमें कन्वर्ट करो थॉट्स को, एंड इट इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू. ओके, एंड ऑलवेज ब्रेक एवरी लाइन. धीरे धीरे पढ़ो, ब्रेक करो. पूरे एक सेंटेंस पढ़ोगे ना कंफ्यूजन होगा. ब्रेक करके पढ़ो, एंड इन द लैंग्वेज दैट यू आर कंफर्टेबल विद, convert it in your mind. It is going to be very easy for you to solve every question. Okay, now let's go to the next one. So now it's a very easy pointer that I think you all can answer. 6 marks, 2 marks each. Explain 3 difficulties that could be faced by an organization when you're implementing ABB. एक्टिविटी बेस्ड कॉस्टिंग, एक्टिविटी बेस्ड बजटिंग के डिसएडवांटेजेस बता दो. हो गया. पॉइंटर नहीं लिखना है, थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में बताना है. बताओ, विच आर द 3 पॉइंट्स? टेल मी फर्स्ट वन. एंड इन दीज काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस यू विल गिव हेडिंग. जैसे उधर भी था ना 2 पॉइंट्स, इधर है 3 पॉइंट्स. यू विल गिव हेडिंग, बोल्ड इट, देन राइट 1 line about it. Always you will do it this way. Which is the first point? Come on, I will write your points now. Which is the first point? Write it quickly. First point, difficult to measure. Very good. I will take this point. It is very difficult to measure the cost driver. Be very clear, specific side there, because ये activity based budgeting है, right? So difficult to measure cost driver. This I will mark as bold. And then I will write theory about it, that by default the activity based budgeting and activity based costing have you, it's a very subjective basis to measure cost driver. So it is an inherent difficulty that comes in, by default difficulty that comes in. However, you will see that in this question, the organization is already implemented activity based costing. So it should not be too much difficult for them to go for activity based budgeting. But the subjective nature of cost driver is very difficult and very time consuming. You will write this. Very good first point. I just need 3 points. Second, so I'm just giving you the pointers and the explanation also. You will write that in your own words. Second is given by Vedika. Employees might resist as they would need to be evaluated on new policies, and variances could not be in favor of employees. Very good. So resistance by employees is a very good point. Absolutely correct, because if you adopt anything new, resistance by the employees will be there. So resistance by the employees is inherent here. Why? Because I'll tell you why. Because when you have any new costing system adopted, the budgets will also change. The methods to prepare budgets will change. So there will be a lot of new things that will be coming in. And so employees may not be very comfortable with. Plus, second point, budgets are related to their performance measurement. Right? So this is also one of the reasons why employees may resist it, as they will have a different way to measure their performance. Okay, so good one. Next one. Swapna has given it is more complex software might be needed. Yes, absolutely, very good point. So there is more complexity. Hence, new software or information system may be needed. Very good, Sapna. Can we think of more also? You're giving me such great points. Swapna is also giving me it's very time consuming, costly to implement. So very intelligent point, Swapna. You are using the same pointers that we use for ABC, right? So very good. Fourth, we can say time consuming to implement and expensive to collect data. Can we say fifth point can be staff training would be needed? As it's a new software, so they need to be made very accustomed to it, right? So we have discussed the 5 points. Any other point that you think? Any other point that is coming to your mind? Yeah, tell me, Swapna. Shalu, Sagar, Anis, anybody else who is there in the session, come on, feel free to give me your points. It is going to help you and your friends in doing these kind of answers in the exam. Collection of required data to make a shift would be hard to find. That's what's a collection of information that we have done, no? That's going to be difficult, it's going to be time consuming, it's going to be expensive. Yes, it is a demotivation for the employee. Yes, so we have covered that in the point of resistance of the employees. So, okay. So I think that's all. And I hope that today's session, we are done with 2 questions. So I do hope that your session was understandable. I would really request you all to give your feedbacks here, whatever you felt, okay, in the comment section, not here, I mean, on the video. Please give your feedback that how did you find the session? How did you find that it is helpful for you for your preparation? Did it help you clear some doubts? Did it help you understand how to do section C, step by step? Do let me know for that. And one thing that I want you all to do is, you will not take my answers. You will do the same paper today when you have time. Whenever you have time, you will go back, you will do the same paper and write your answers yourself. No need to turn back to the answers page, right? Try to do it and with 100% accuracy. Just try to remember the pointers that we have discussed in the class. I'm sure then that will give you a lot of confidence when you're doing it yourself. Yes, so Swapna, that we covered in the demotivation. Okay, now are you all full of energy for your second past paper discussion tomorrow? Will I expect to see all of you tomorrow at 8 p.m.? Remember, it's a weekday. So considering everybody's presence, we are keeping it at 8 p.m. in the evening tomorrow. So type in yes, who all will be there in the class tomorrow. 8 p.m. another past paper, another detailed discussion. Great, great, great. So now let's see you all tomorrow. Study well, study hard. Do give in your feedbacks and just pass on this message to all of your friends. You know, who all do you think are appearing for PM? Whether they're studying from me, not studying from me, doesn't matter. Let's make it helpful for all the students community. Okay. So do pass on, do share it among all your friends, families, and then let's join tomorrow for another past paper. And please don't forget to leave a comment on how was today's session. So probably other students may also love to join. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care. Bye.